I hope that this cuts together and is entertaining enough for you to continue watching. What's up? Okay, so I've actually been invited to be in a 2-person show. And I had an initial conversation with the curator who's curated me into this show. And I told him I was really excited about making some new work for the show. Now, the show is in the summer of 2023, and it's right now July of 2022. So I have like a little less than a year. And it's really interesting because he said every single artist that he works with, and like I'm assuming works with, curates into a show, says that they want to make new work for the show. And then he, just kind of said that he didn't feel like there was any need for me to make new work. He already was impressed with the work that I have made in the past. And he I can't remember exactly his words, but it was like he alluded to the fact that then they just make themselves crazy. I know what it's like to make new work for a deadline that, you just are we're super ambitious people. And so I just, felt like that was good advice to take. So basically he said, just look through the stash of your own artwork that you have. Like if I had to exhibit tomorrow, what is displayable? And I think that that's a very interesting take to have, but it's also very interesting that I felt this way, that I have to make new work. For my day job, I work in an art-related field. I'm a preparator, and so I install and move other artists' artwork for our curator, and there's nobody that's making new artwork for her to curate into a show right now. Right now, we just have the collection that we have, and she curates from what we have, and we have a lot. So anyway, it was just like, well, why didn't I think it's also like this idea that I had that, well, whatever I'm going to make next is going to be better. And so I am going to look through my drawers of work that I have that I've made. Like, I'm just going to look through everything, and I've been procrastinating. And so I figured, what better way to stop this procrastination than for me to just film it? And I don't know if I'm actually ever going to make this into a video, but it was more exciting for some reason, getting down here and setting up all the cameras with the formatted cards and the battery lives and everything. And it just like was, more enticing than just doing it myself. Like I have there's like girls out there that do, girls and guys, I shouldn't say, there's lots of people that do this whole like get ready with me type of content. And I am kind of like, I'm going to be getting ready for this exhibition. So I should do get ready with me jewelry exhibition edition or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? This could all just fall by the wayside, but that would be okay too. But the most important thing is it's getting me in here, and it's getting me excited about looking through this stuff. And I'm like kind of dreading what I'm going to find because I'm worried that that's not going to be enough. But it's like a lot less pressure if you think about me trying to make new work. How many pieces would this body of work be? And I'm still trying to work full time, and I have a podcast, and I'm trying to have this YouTube channel. Like, what am I thinking? Anyways, and I'm making a piece to donate to the auction for Repair Days. That's due. And it's just like, yeah, maybe what I have, maybe it is enough. And if it's not, I probably only have to make 1 or 2 more pieces. Or I could look at it and then say, you know what, I'm going to make this piece. Or I actually have something that would go with some of the other pieces, and it's halfway done. I could pick up that and finish it. And it's like already, it's just so interesting how we procrastinate in the way that I'm doing this now, because the longer I keep talking to this camera, the longer it prolongs the period of time before I actually have to face my fear, which the fear is ugh, I don't even know, right? The fear is, what is the fear? That I won't have enough, that it won't be good enough, that it won't be coherent enough, that it won't live up to the curator's expectation. But how do I think that making a new body of work and stress myself out when I don't know why that seems like the easier option, or I don't know. So anyways, so that's enough. I think we should just like get to it. So I'm going to bring the cameras over and film myself like pulling the stuff out of the drawers in case something happens that I wish for you to see. I don't know why I talked like that right then, but I did. So let's just go over to the art. Here we are at the metal drawers. So I'm just gonna take everything literally and put it on that table over there. All right, so this is like crayons and this is like irons. Like this is nothing. Don't think I'm hiding anything from you. All right, so this, oh my God, I think I'm just gonna take the friggin' drawer. This is gonna be an adventure. Okay. Oops. Oh no. Oh, I forgot about, sometimes you forget. Oh dear. It's chocolate. No, just kidding, it's not. That was the hardest part. These are in here like there's no rhyme or reason between, or not between, but there's no rhyme or reason to how these are like stored in these drawers. So I guess like whatever. All right, so first thing, I already know that I think that this is broken. Like how much do okay, like we'll just have like, this is a maybe, like these are all maybes. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an initial separation, an initial sorting. And then once I have some of the bullshit out of the way, then I'll like look at all of the pieces closer. Actually though, it's kind of interesting now that I'm thinking about it, because it's like all I have to do is show the curator what I've got. I'm not curating the show. I just have to show him what I've got and then see what he says. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, right, okay. This is definitely showable. These are also, I'm pretty sure that none of this is showable. What a situation. This stuff is stuff that I made when I was in undergrad. Oh dear. And some in grad school, but oh my gosh. I think that this is a different video for a different day. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's do this one. All right, what I'm finding is that I actually have 3 different bodies of work. So no, it's really just 2. Maybe it is 3. Okay, maybe it is 3 different bodies of work. Like I got, like, basically they're not all gonna fit on this table. Like I can make them fit on the table, but it won't actually be, I might be able to start like laying them out, but I just wanted to give you a little overview of the actual like different sections. So we've got, and I'm just gonna show them in order of which I made them. So this is my Cranky Brooch series. And you can see they all have these like actuating cranks. I'll show you them more in detail in a minute. And then this is the mechanical necklace series. And then in here, in this, I have like my cast iron necklace series. And this is kind of split up into 2. There's, well, it's like the series is the cast iron necklaces, but there's a division between a masculine and feminine. So yeah, now I'm gonna lay out just the cranky brooches. So this is my Cranky Brooch series, and I really should do like individual videos for each one of these pieces because they have like great details. This is what they look like. And you know, when you turn the crank, so like the idea is when you crank this, these are magnets that are like, this is a magnet and this is a magnet, and they're all along the pulley belt. And so then as you crank it, this is steel shavings. And so the idea is that as the pulley pulls the belt around, the magnets will pull the shavings around. And so there's this interesting interaction that happens. But this was the last one of the series, and you can kind of tell why I stopped the series because whatever. This was actually the very first mechanical thing that I made that like made a difference. So that would be, you know, there's just so many nuances because, you know, there's details to these, but to do each piece justice, it's just too long for like what I'm wanting this piece of content to be. And I just want this to be like a quick overview of the 3 different bodies of work. And I still have to like break down this setup and put up another setup. So like, let's just keep it. I'm spending too much time. All right, so we're gonna go over to, oh, I guess I gotta take you with me. Can you come on? What does that look like? Can you see me now? Okay, yeah. So these are my mechanical necklaces. Some of these pieces I like love so much. You know, like these like pistons actuate, and they all have little stones like inside of the, let me see if I can get you. I don't know, that's probably terribly out of focus, but you see there's like little stones. These are all like, you know, those like weighted jaws, kind of like ice tongs. Does anybody else know what ice tongs are anymore? Anyways, this is like these little thumb screws have rubber on the ends. And so when you like loosen them, remember I wasn't going to go into too much detail, but like, you know, when you loosen them, you can adjust the length of it. Like, I don't know why you would, but it was something about me wanting to, really, I just wanted to use the mechanism and have glass be like pistons, you know, how cool is that or whatever. And so it was just like, how do I make that and put it in a jewelry format? But the idea that it was adjustable was interesting, but why you would even, like, I've never even worn this. These have never even been shown on dress form, like on body forms. I think they were all just like hanging in cases, the same as a wall sculpture or any other framed piece of artwork just like hung on a wall. So it's very interesting, the things that I decided to do when I was making this body of work, and the reasons why. And even if I was like thinking that in depth about the reasons why, because I kind of feel like I wasn't, but I was thinking in depth about other things. So, it's just very interesting. So this was, I think, the first necklace that I made in this series of necklaces, that is. And so, it's got the universal joints. And then this one, I love this one. This one's probably tied to be my favorite just because of like I used to know what all these things were called, all these like mechanisms, but I think this is maybe like a ball joint. If I find it online, I'll put the actual word in a title right there. But the fact that I was using these pearls and then made these little thumb screws, like little butterfly. These pieces, a lot of them are actually like sticking to the tablecloth. So that's working against me, but it looks nice. So yeah, you can see I like cut out all of these and they have little stones in them. Like I'm using my GoPro for this because it seems like the best camera to get like the overall knot details. But if I was going to do an individual video, I would probably use like a macro lens or something to get the details, because they're just. And then this one, okay, so this is how you get it on and off. So it's like, see that springiness? That is how you would get it over your head, would be to like stretch all the springs that are like encased in glass, and so you stretch it and like put it on. But this is another one that like this has never been, I don't think I've ever even put this on. This one I've definitely never put on because you would have to bolt it to yourself. But like in grad school, they don't care. Yes, and then you have somebody take it apart and put it on and bolt it on for you with a bolt and a nut. And they're like, yeah, very conceptual, very, like they would say, very interesting, intriguing. The juxtaposition of the wearability versus non-wearability, or the difficulty to actually wear this piece. If you are wearing something that's this difficult to wear, what does it mean? Like the idea that this one would be held on by gravity, because the way that ice tongs work is like the weight of whatever you're holding actually like causes the clamping to be equal to what it needs to be for that weight. It's like is self-regulating, whatever. And this, I don't know, I think that this barely fits around my head, maybe, whatever. Anyway, so that's the Cranky Brooch series and the Mechanical Necklace series, and then that weird one-off necklace thing that has the ratchet, which is would be an interesting individual video. But now I'm going to break this down and put up my last big body of work that I made when I was doing a residency and like working as an artist full-time, I guess you would say, because now I'm not a full-time artist. I'm a half-time, quarter-time artist, whatever. All right, I've got my another body of work out. This is what it looks like. They're necklaces with cast iron elements. And so these are some solid cast iron bows that I feel like if you're an iron caster, you're like, as my friend Katie would say, everybody has cast a bone or two. And I kind of feel like sometimes it goes with like bows as well, but I made it my own. Okay, I'd like to think that I made it my own. It's all fine. This is, yeah, like cast iron, and it's attached in the back by these little sterling silver plates that are, yeah. And then here's another one. So these were displayed, a few of them were displayed on body forms. So this one I feel like looks better on a neck, in the round, if you were. So then this is supposed to be kind of like an homage to the strand of pearls sort of a thing, but they're cast iron, and it's a little homage to Elizabeth Brim, if anybody knows who she is. But so this is a, cast iron bow tie. And this one is funny, like this story was funny. I was driving to a iron pour in Georgia with my professor, my graduate professor, and I stopped at a Walmart and got this bow tie. And then when I was at his studio, he let me ram it up in sand and then we poured it. And I feel like it was on Easter. It was like an Easter morning pour. So funny how stuff like that. Anyway, so here's another, the pearls and the cast iron bows. And then these are the bones. So we've got pearls and bones, and we've got bones with steel chain with pearls inside the chain. And this is just steel binding wire, you know, that you get from Home Depot. It's like in the fencing department. It's like a big black spool of greasy, stiff steel that will turn your hands, turn your soul black after. Yeah. And so yeah, these are actually like epoxied in, the pearls, and they are diamonds though. They're actual diamonds. So there's a material juxtaposition dichotomy for you. And then this is just bones. And I feel like these are all just chicken bones. I think you can tell if you look at them, actually. There's just chicken bones. So anyways, and then this is like my most recent body of work. Oh, can you just come with me so this is my most recent body of work where I'm taking the cubic zirconias, you know, and putting them in the mold. I don't know. I don't know if any of these pieces, like, I don't know. Like, it's like I'm a completely different person than I was. And so I feel like the work is going to be completely different. But has this similar undertones, I guess. So it's like cast iron with the stones. The stones are in the mold, and then like the mold is empty besides the stones are like glued to the mold on the inside. And then when the molten metal is poured in, it grabs the stones. And then when you break open the mold, the iron is like holding onto the stone forever. That's like my most recent body of work. So you can kind of see. And I have a whole video, a YouTube video of how I made this one and also these ones, like doing the finish work for these. And they're bracelets, but they're also table sculptures. These are table sculptures, but they could also be wall sculptures. And this was like more of a, watch, I don't want to break it, but it's like this part right here. This is really delicate. And so this was actually more of like an experimentation of mold making and like, can I make a thing like this? Has no seam lines because I rammed these in one part of the mold and this in the other part of the mold. And then after the mold had cured, I drilled with a drill and a drill bit, like to connect the base through into these by math. Like I lined it up. It was like kind of like to see if I could. And then after all that work and it came out and I opened it so carefully because I didn't want these to like break off because like, you know, iron is really brittle. Like I could just punch them off right now. I'm that strong. I'm just kidding. And then after all that, do you see this? The stone fell out. And it was just like, sometimes in life, it be like that. Anyways, so, and then there's like another piece that I did that I didn't find it. I know that it's around. It might just be in the shop in parts storage or in one of these drawers. I just missed it, but it's basically, I'll show a screenshot of it, but it's these like cast iron half spheres with the cubic zirconia in them. And that was like the first cubic zirconia that I ever cast in place in the linacure. And I made this like beautiful sterling silver mounting system for each one of the elements with like cubic zirconia on the tops of the, like they're prongs as in like a jewelry setting, but then they are settings themselves and like the layers. It's funny. And that's just either a table piece or a wall piece because they're just, you know, mounted to whatever the base is that you're mounting them to. And then what, oh yeah, and then they have these dominoes, which is like dominoes with the diamond, but they're not all finished. Like, I don't know. But then again, I could grind some in the fall. Like I did finish a certain amount of them but it's like, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want those. So I'll put in a couple of pictures of those dominoes, and I'm gonna clean up these, and then I'm gonna put out the last couple of pieces, stragglers, if you will, and then wrap up the show. So these two are kind of like one-off situations. This is a filigree spine, and you would actually wear it so that the spine is on your back. And then this is a necklace with mice bones and leather with the pieces sewn together. I don't know what, I guess they were just exploratory. Like, this was my maybe first semester of grad school. Like, I mean, you can't say they're not related because of the bones, but then also, especially the filigree, because of like the visual splendor of it all, whatever. Yeah, so that's that. And then the other thing is, you know, the Mechanimal series, which they are just like, I can't pull them out and set them up and take he already took photos of them when he came to visit. Like, he and his wife did a house visit, and I laid out all of my artwork and he took pictures of it. So the Mechanimals were, like, the puppets were set up then. And I have good photos of them, like studio shots. So I'm just not gonna set them up. And also, I kind of want to do the individual videos about them. So I don't want to spoil the surprises, whatever. So I'll send him all that over, and then we'll just see what he says, and I'll keep you updated as things progress, and as I maybe have to do things exhibition related, and what pieces get chosen, and also if any of them need any prep work, like if they need polishing or anything. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm surprised that you're interested if you're still here, but I hope that this has been interesting. It's been kind of fun experiencing this, knowing that you're gonna be watching it, so I'm not just experiencing it alone. It's gonna be fun. I hope that this cuts together and is entertaining enough for you to continue watching. Well, but not now because it's over. So thanks so much for watching, and I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Mwah! Well, I feel like we're done. Oh, way too high for me. It's amazing to me how much of what I'm doing right now is actually what I do at work, my like full-time job. Like, you know, the table with the tablecloth and the laying out of the situation. Medium-sized rodent skull, ROUS's. This though, I mean, this is a really interesting piece, but I actually might like cannibalize it.